The cafe buzzed with the low hum of conversation, coffee machines hissing, and the faint clatter of cups. But to Claire, every sound only amplified her anxiety. Her fingers trembled slightly as she stirred the latte she hadn't touched in 10 minutes. Across from her, 6-year-old Lily swung her legs back and forth, humming to herself and clutching her threadbare stuffed bunny, the one she never left home without. "Remember, sweetheart," Claire whispered, brushing a stray curl from Lily's forehead, "Mommy's meeting a friend today." "Just a grown-up talk, okay." Lily nodded solemnly, then grinned. "Is he nice?" Claire hesitated, her heart skipping. "I don't know yet." Truth be told, she didn't even want to find out. This whole blind date idea had been her best friend Mia's doing. "You need to get back out there," Mia had insisted. "You deserve someone who looks at you like you're magic." Claire had laughed it off, but deep down, she missed companionship, missed being seen as more than just Lily's mom. Still, dating again felt like learning to walk on thin ice. She had a daughter now. There was no room for heartbreak or games. Every man she'd met in passing either backed away the moment she mentioned she was a single mom or tried to treat her like a charity case. She glanced at the clock again. 5 minutes past the meeting time. Maybe he wasn't coming. Maybe she'd dodged the awkwardness after all. Lily looked up at her. "Mommy, are you scared?" Claire managed a small smile. "A little." Before Lily could ask why, the cafe door chimed open, and cold air swept through. Claire turned, and froze. A man stepped inside, tall, confident, scanning the room like he belonged everywhere and nowhere all at once. His navy suit fit perfectly, his dark hair slightly tousled, his presence commanding without effort. When his gaze found hers, a spark of recognition, or maybe curiosity, flickered in his eyes. Claire's pulse quickened. This couldn't be him, could it? He smiled as he approached, the kind of smile that made people notice. "Claire." His voice was smooth, warm, unmistakably certain. She stood awkwardly, tugging Lily closer. "Yes, that's me." And just like that, the world seemed to shrink to a single moment, a single breath, where everything might change. "Claire," the man repeated, his smile deepening. "I'm Ethan. Ethan Morgan." The name made something in her chest stutter. She'd heard it before, on business channels, in glossy magazines at the grocery store. Ethan Morgan, billionaire tech entrepreneur, the man who turned a small startup into an empire. Claire blinked, trying not to look as startled as she felt. There must be a mistake. He couldn't possibly be her blind date. But then he reached out his hand. "It's nice to finally meet you." His handshake was warm, steady, confident without arrogance. Claire gestured to the chair across from her, still flustered. Sorry. I wasn't expecting you." He chuckled softly, sitting down. "That's usually how blind dates work." His tone was teasing but kind. Then his gaze shifted to the tiny figure hiding behind Claire's chair. "And who's this?" Claire's stomach tightened. "Here it comes." The part where he politely smiles, pretends it's fine, then later ghosts her without a word. She swallowed. "This is Lily. I couldn't find a babysitter, and..." Before she could finish, Lily peeked out, her big brown eyes meeting his. Ethan's expression softened instantly. He didn't hesitate, didn't recoil. He crouched slightly, lowering himself to Lily's level. "Hi, Lily. I'm Ethan. Is this your bunny?" Lily nodded, clutching the stuffed toy. "Her name's Pudding." "Pudding," he repeated with mock seriousness. "That's a very dignified name. I think I might need to hire her as my assistant." Lily giggled, the sound bright and unguarded. Claire blinked, stunned. Most men fumbled through awkward small talk or ignored Lily altogether. Ethan, however, seemed completely at ease, as though children were a natural part of his world. He straightened, smiling at Claire. "You've got a wonderful little girl." Claire felt her cheeks warm. "Thank you. She's everything to me." "I can tell," he said simply, his gaze holding hers a beat longer than she expected. For a moment, something quiet settled between them, not awkwardness but something gentler. Understanding. A waiter arrived, taking their order. Ethan didn't miss a beat, asking Lily if she wanted hot chocolate and extra marshmallows. Claire watched as her daughter nodded eagerly, eyes shining. And for the first time in years, Claire found herself wondering if maybe, just maybe, this wouldn't end in disappointment. Maybe tonight could be different. To Claire's astonishment, the evening began to flow as naturally as a quiet stream. The initial tension she'd felt, that familiar, anxious knot in her chest, slowly unraveled as Ethan drew both her and Lily into an easy rhythm of conversation. He didn't act as though Lily's presence was inconvenient or unexpected. Instead, he treated her as though she were the most delightful part of the evening. "So, Miss Lily," Ethan said with a grin, leaning back in his chair, "what's your favorite ice cream flavor? I need to know in case we ever start an ice cream company together." Lily giggled, her eyes lighting up. "Chocolate chip cookie dough." Ethan nodded gravely. "Excellent choice. You clearly have CEO potential." Claire laughed softly, her heart warming at the sight. Lily almost never opened up this quickly to anyone new, not even family friends. Yet here she was, chatting away as though she'd known Ethan forever. Claire couldn't help but watch him carefully, her curiosity deepening. He wasn't putting on an act. His laughter reached his eyes, and every time he spoke to Lily, there was no trace of impatience or pretense. When Lily accidentally tipped her glass of orange juice, the liquid spreading across the table, Claire's reflexes kicked in. "Oh no, I'm so sorry." But Ethan was already reaching for napkins, smiling. "No harm done. I've caused worse spills in much fancier places." The casual humor in his voice made her laugh. A real laugh, not the careful, polite kind she'd mastered over the years. He looked at her then, and something shifted in his expression, something quiet and thoughtful. When Lily ran off to the restroom, leaving her bunny on the table, the moment stretched. Claire brushed a hand over Pudding's worn ear and sighed. "I didn't mean to bring her tonight. I just didn't have a choice." Ethan tilted his head slightly. "Claire, don't apologize." She blinked, surprised by the firmness in his tone. He leaned forward, his voice low but sincere. "She's part of you, isn't she? Why would I want to meet you without meeting her?" For a heartbeat, Claire couldn't speak. Those words, simple, kind, and utterly unexpected, struck straight through the armor she'd built over the years. Maybe, she thought, for the first time in a very long while, someone actually saw her. Not as a single mother. Not as a burden. Just as Claire. Claire sat there for a moment after Ethan's words sank in, unsure whether to laugh or cry. "She's part of you." No one had ever said that before. Not her ex, not the men who'd come and gone after, not even the few friends who told her to find someone who could handle it. It wasn't about handling Lily. It was about accepting her. Seeing her as an extension of the love that had shaped Claire's world. When Lily returned, her hands slightly damp from washing, Ethan greeted her with a grin and another napkin bunny folded out of paper. "Look who hopped onto our table while you were gone." Lily gasped, eyes wide with delight. "He needs a name." Ethan pretended to think hard. "How about Mr. Pudding Jr.? Lily laughed so hard she snorted, and Claire couldn't help but join in. The sound felt foreign yet familiar, like rediscovering a part of herself she'd forgotten existed. As the cafe began to empty, the warm glow of the hanging lights wrapped the three of them in a soft cocoon. Outside, the city moved on, cars honking, laughter spilling from nearby streets, but inside that little corner, time seemed to slow. Ethan paid the bill before Claire could even reach for her purse. "You didn't have to," she started, but he cut her off gently. "I wanted to," he said, his tone leaving no room for awkwardness. "You can buy dessert next time." Next time. The phrase lingered in her mind like a spark she was afraid to touch. Outside, the air was crisp, the faint scent of rain hanging in the wind. Lily clung to Claire's hand, her bunny tucked under her arm, while Ethan walked beside them. When they reached the corner, he turned to Lily. "So, Miss CEO, do I get to see you again soon?" Lily looked up at her mother, eyes hopeful. "Can we, Mommy?" Claire met Ethan's gaze, steady, kind, full of something she hadn't seen in a man's eyes for years. "Maybe," she said softly, smiling. Ethan chuckled. "I'll take maybe." He gave them a small wave and disappeared into the night, leaving Claire standing there with her daughter's hand in hers, heart fluttering with something dangerous and beautiful, hope. For the first time in years, she didn't feel broken. She felt seen. And maybe, just maybe, she was ready to believe in something real again.